This is Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search for my site. Several recent events inspire me to create this unscripted vid. A Pakistani video blogger was killed by her brother. Her video, in the context of Pakistan and the context of the Muslim world, was considered excessively provocative, sexual, unacceptable, and he murdered her. The parents are devastated. The dad wants to have the son publicly shot. Throughout the world today, there are lynchings, mob culture, mob sentiment gets out of control and chases and kills someone. This, of course, was much more common in this country. And the target was black people for a very, I don't know when, but there are horrific stories of lynchings that were common. And the election of 2012, candidates were stating their objections to lynching. Now, ironically, offensively, the president who won, Woodrow Wilson, my candidate for one of the worst presidents in American history, he was one who did not oppose lynching. Teddy Roosevelt and William Taft are two that ran against him, and Eugene Debs, all spoke openly about the horror of lynching. A lynching is mobs deciding justice, bypassing a justice system. We don't need police. We don't need a judge. We don't need a jury. We need a mob to just get out of control and decide what is right. In Pakistan, a brother is inspired, and many people believe he will not face punishment for his honor killing. So the lynchings in this country became an election issue of 2012. Mobs have a history throughout the world of getting out of control and killing someone, sometimes killing many people. Tonight, I was a target of some police questioning with my blogging. I will not expand on that here, but I have in text, and there's kind of a prelude to it in the video I published tonight. What I'm trying to combine in this video is the horror of a crowd inspired by unified emotion deciding they are right. The birther movement decided that Barack Obama was not eligible to be president because he was Kenyan born. Well, finally, the evidence was long-standing. Finally, the crowd lynch mob sentiment that said Barack Obama should be removed from office because he's Kenyan born whittled away. Even Donald Trump today doesn't repeat it. Many people believe he still believes it, but at least it's out of fashion to be caught saying it. One of the famous persons who made himself famous by repeating it again and again, Maricopa County, Arizona sheriff, still says it today. But the truth is, justice won as it relates to Barack Obama. He is legitimately Hawaiian-born, American-born, had the evidence from the beginning, and he was entitled to be president. A mob sentiment wanted to remove him, and justice prevailed. All this prelude for one point. The Republican National Convention this week in Cleveland has repeatedly broken into lock her up, lock her up. It is nothing short of a mob scene. This lynch mob of Republicans it has become popular to distrust the government. It has become popular to shrink the government. They don't realize it, but they're calling for anarchy. They're not using the word, but by shrinking the government, by bypassing justice, they are calling for anarchy. And lock her up is their call to say, we know what's better. Okay, now there is evidence that Hillary should not be locked up. The Benghazi investigation, I believe, is complete. It hasn't found criminal wrongdoing. It has not found reasons that she should be blocked up or punished in other ways. The email thing is just there is some mishandling of information. Locking her up for the email? Come on, people. Look at your fucking sent email file. Look at the thousands of emails and hid them all over the FBI, and then imagine the crowd at the Republican Party deciding whether or not you should be locked up. Now, I faced some police tonight, and I am emotional about this. I trust that there is a justice system. I trust that behind the police are judges and juries. And we don't have the people who are gathered in Cleveland at the Republican Party deciding whether I should be locked up. So to Hillary Clinton, the candidate, I wish you would say something like this. My fellow Americans, please consider the lynch mob sentiment of the Republican Party. Please consider their chance to lock me up during their convention in Cleveland this week. It has erupted every night to call for me. I am speaking as Hillary Clinton on this occasion, calling for the Republicans. They want to lock her up. They want lynch mob mentality. They want to bypass justice, bypass the police, bypass judges, bypass jury, bypass laws, and trust that they know what is right. Now, as a man who just faced police questioning tonight, I am especially emotional about this. I stayed calm. Yes officer, no officer, answered the questions. I did not, although I was trying to walk away from the scene, I did not do so rapidly. It was a tense moment, as we've all seen with the videos where police encounter black men, and often the black men end up dead. Or the psychologist recently who ended up wounded in the hospital with a bullet. These fine lines are frightening, and I faced one of those fine lines tonight. Hillary Clinton is facing a mob who wants to lynch her. They want to lock her up, and the evidence does not support it. That's what I want to hear Hillary Clinton say. I want to hear her face the sentiment of the Republican Party as they presented themselves in the convention this week. I want to hear her call to her fellow Americans and say, how would you like it? Everyone, turn over your outbox. Tens of thousands of emails. And let's let the mob gathered under the banner of the Cleveland Convention delegates, let them decide if you should be locked up. Or do you favor a government of order with police and judges and juries and justice? This is a terribly emotional time for Americans, and Hillary is far from the perfect candidate. She claims to support women, but there's a ton of evidence to say she doesn't really like women. She's accused of a lot of things, and some of them are valid. But the sentiment that Donald Trump has provoked set a fire in the Republican Party cannot prevail. Justice, order, and peace people and a Congress and a president who participate in their government to demand that government is better is what is needed. Reducing our government to mob sentiment, to lynch mob tactics, is not what this country needs. The Republican delegates in the convention in Cleveland aren't using the words, but they're calling for anarchy. They are goddamn chicken to participate in their government in a constructive way to demand better. They're demanding nothing. They're demanding whittling the government down with reduced taxes and reduced validation to anarchy. They want a government of nothing. They have taken Ronald Reagan's sentiment and applied it to extreme. It is not what this country needs. This country needs people to participate in government, including the Congress, including the president, including the Supreme Court, including local state officials, including all citizens, to demand better from government, to elect Hillary Clinton and demand better from Hillary Clinton. What has happened in Cleveland this week cannot be the future of the United States of America for 4 years. I've heard people who support Donald Trump that say, hey, it's only 4 years. Fuck you. It's 4 years this country can't afford. We must do better. This has been Tom Duty, middle-aged American, living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search for my site. Thank you for listening. Happy. In the event any of the officers who questioned me tonight make it to my blog, it would I will never know that they did. They treated me with respect today. There was calm. I answered their questions. There was no issue. My blogging behavior on a street corner, it's captured in this video posted prior to this one. It can be, a creative listener can imagine what it seemed like from a street view. It seemed weird enough that it attracted calls to the police. And the police investigated. They treated me with respect. I answered their questions. They sent me on my way. We need a government that functions. We cannot erase our government. This has been Tom Duty, middle-aged American, living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy. My wife has tweeted me during this video. I don't have my reading glasses on. Could I hear what this said?
It's old.
Digame?
It's old.
Oh, that was her. My wife is not trying to get my attention while I'm live. Thank you for listening. Have a good day, good evening, a restful night's sleep. Ciao.